Let's move. The bar was set high. The good news is that there was so much more story to tell.
You know, Real was my last job.
Somebody better do something! I gotta take on my ass!
There's always something else that I haven't seen, and it's always evolving.
Let's go hunting.
Fast and Furious 6 is the culmination of everything. All roads lead to this.
This one is really upping the ante when it comes to the action, and the stakes are even bigger. It's pretty damn cool.
Fast 6 takes it to a whole nother level.
Dom, in the beginning of the movie, is on the run. He's obviously chosen a place with no extradition. But you get the sense that something's not right.
This is what 100 million buys, huh? It wasn't that hard to find you, Toretto.
Wasn't hiding. Dom's about to be hit with some very life-changing information.
I need your help, Dom. Going to Dom is not only the last resort, but it's the best resort.
Last week, a team of highly coordinated drivers took down an entire military convoy.
You're gonna help me catch the team responsible.
And why is that, Hobbs?
This was taken a week ago.
This is exactly what cops do. He's messing with your head. Letty's dead, Dom.
I need to know for sure.
Then I'm going with you. Living under the radar and running from the law. This is everybody's opportunity to make things right.
To catch wolves, you need wolves.
All right, Hobbs,
You got the best crew in the world standing right in front of you. Give them a reason to stay.
Our target's Owen Shaw, former major in the SAS, Spec Ops soldier.
I'm offering you a chance to make your family whole again.
You get us close to Letty and we'll get you Shaw. And you give us full pardons all the way around.
That's the deal. Take it or leave it.
Hobbs really has no other choice, especially if he wants to go outside the law.
Ride or die.
They're the only ones that are capable of catching this guy. But Owen Shaw has never been caught. He's never even got near being caught.
This isn't Brazil. We're not dealing with cops. Drug dealers.
This is definitely one of the times that the team may have met its match. We're talking vehicular warfare.
This is not what we do.
Becomes much more of a cat and mouse game between our guys and Shaw's gang.
You believe in ghosts?
She doesn't know who the hell he is. The memory loss aspect of the whole thing throws a character like Letty into this survival mode.
Just because you know how I ride doesn't mean you know me.
Letty has this amnesia, so Shaw knows he can play mind games with everybody because of her being on my team.
Maybe the Letty we once knew is gone.
You don't turn your back on family, even when they do.
Dom's biggest weakness is his loyalty, whereas I couldn't give a damn about any of mine.
This code you live by is about family. It makes you predictable. And that means I can reach out and break you whenever I want.
Shaw is quick to exploit anything, especially somebody's idea of family.
At least when I go, I'll know what it's for.
It really goes beyond teamwork. Sometimes it's blind faith.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
We gotta move!
Fast 6. Lights, camera, action, baby. Let's go.
Just felt like on this one, we go big or we go home.
There's a great camaraderie in front and behind the camera.
Live on set. When you put so many different actors together, what people need to understand is that we all come together and it's like a family.
The great thing about Fast 6 is that we've got this wonderful character coming back. Letty.
It felt surreal coming back.
There's something special about Dom and Letty. It's a cherished love that exists on the wrong side of the tracks.
Scar, you got that the first night we met.
It's a chemistry, you know, and that's something that comes across on that screen.
I'm here for you.
Hobbs has a new partner.
Riley is backup to Hobbs. She really helps Hobbs get the job done. There he is.
On it.
She's just kind of like his right-hand man.
Gina was a trailblazer for women's MMA. She's sweet as pie, But when she says, I could probably unhinge your jaw, you gotta be careful. Woman, you keep that up, I'm gonna be out of a job.
I wanted an antagonist that's worthy of Dominic Toretto.
Take your crew and walk away. That's the only way you're gonna keep your family safe. Owen Shaw reminds me of a bad Bond. Very sophisticated, has a huge amount of charisma.
It's been fun running with you, mate.
How is Dom gonna handle this?
There you are.
Just when you think the action sequences can't get any crazier, they seem to outdo themselves each and every time.
When you see a car tumbling or flying through the air, rest assured that car is tumbling and flying through the air. If that part is never CG, you're going to see some real vehicle carnage.
The first real true action sequence is the team versus team. That was all designed as an intro for Shaw
Stay on track.
and his team and the way they do business.
Here comes Shaw coming down the road in this vehicle that we've never seen before. We end up calling them the flip cars.
When I saw the flip car, it just reminded me how this franchise comes up with new ideas, and it blows my mind.
It's a beast. That car just looked super cool.
The flip car is something that Dennis and we've been kind of playing with.
I want something that's going to run head-on into vehicles and launch them into the air.
The design came really from who Shaw is, someone that will go right into the middle of a storm and demolish everything in its way.
This car is probably the most labor-intensive car that we have. It's basically built from scratch.
It's roughly based on a Formula One car, so it's very low to the ground. Huge tires, the noisiest thing I've ever heard. Like having a T-Rex open his mouth right behind you.
Great big lump of an engine, 8-cylinder. That's producing about 500 horsepower.
It also is equipped with rear-wheel steering, which is operated from right here.
You can turn his wheels left, turn his wheels right. Reverse steer 180s, 360s.
The tank here is operating the pressure. That comes up, and that allows the cars to go over the top of it and keeps the driver safer.
It defies physics, really. Its inherent race car element, it's almost otherworldly.
I remember doing tests, and we built a little pipe ramp to the flip car. I said, well, let's just try it.
And we were surprised because this flip car really flipped the police cars. So the footage in the movie is actually two drivers going head-on with each other, and it really happened for real.
The key was timing. My line's got to be within a couple of inches either side. If we get it wrong, the car won't flip.
Justin saw the results of what we were able to do with these things and goes, I want you to flip more police cars.
We turned over 7 or 8 cop cars.
Andy Gillett said instead of flipping a car down the street, we talked about maybe going through a building.
As soon as you get here, the camera starts to fly against the back wall.
Everything has to be timed out so we can figure out how all this is going to work to get the angles we want to get, shooting through cars, over cars.
Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, action!
I was holding my breath on that one.
We do have the guard underneath.
Roll camera!
We had this idea of what if we put these guys up against a tank?
It's 60 tons blowing out of this cab of that semi.
It's an amazing sequence that has never been done before.
Guys, they got a tank.
Where you take a tank and anything that gets in its way, we're running it over.
It really was just like, let's just fire up that tank and see what happens, and it just crushed the car like it was nothing.
It just annihilates anything it touches.
I think that the weight of that tank running over cars, the realness of that, could never have duplicated with visual effects.
At the core, it's a Chieftain World War II tank, but then we redesigned everything. It's a custom tank. Very appropriate for a Fast and Furious film.
We had this tank going head-on into traffic. You had explosions, bridges coming down, tanks running over cars.
It was like a graveyard on the side of the freeway of smashed cars. Cars that are 5 feet tall that now are 12 inches off the ground.
But that's Fast 6. It's all about the destruction and the heroes saving the day.
The driving's extraordinary. That's a testament to us pushing the envelope as far as possible.
To have the characters drive through these explosions, it's kind of crazy. And yet, we wouldn't have it any other way.
I wanted all of the cast behind the wheel and let them really get a taste for what this is.
I always told Justin, I want to be a badass, on the motorcycle, whatever. I want to do it all. By myself, no stunt woman.
And we got great driving skills. It's a great compliment to what we're capable of doing.
Tyrese is saving the day and has to latch this cable around the barrel.
We really crushed his car. That was a hairy stunt. That's called puckering up. The Antonov sequence is about one of the world's largest planes, and our heroes have to bring it down. Well, the only thing they've got is these harpoons that they shoot through the flaps of the wings.
It was the ultimate challenge to basically design 7 action sequences that's happening all at once. To not take any character lightly, to have the inside, the outside, the wings, everywhere, to have these characters do something, but truly put them in a situation where they can have that resolution. Coming from back there, I'd never done anything close to that scale.
This Antonov with 6 stunt cars slamming into each other, spinning out. You had the fights with the cars with these big wheels right beside you.
The people transferring from cars onto planes.
Just continuously non-stop action. There's really never a moment to breathe.
There will be people that change their perception of what action is after this film.
I really feel like everybody gets an opportunity to just kick some ass.
You see a lot of different fights that happen. We're always pushing the boundary, with the actors wanting to do everything themselves. On Fast 5, a lot of people talk about the Dom-Hobbs fight. I felt like we could actually top ourselves.
I Want Your Boss, a character like Hobbs, has a certain way of interrogating individuals. There was a man who let his ego get the best of him.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Until Hobbs decided to extract the information in his own way. And it's the first time you see a man clean and jerk and press another man from the floor through the roof.
Is that legal? No. But are you gonna go in there and tell him?
Okay, here we go. We've got this really intense fight sequence between Letty and Riley.
It was really special for me, too, to be able to work with Michelle in a fight scene.
I'm up against Gina Carano. She's a professional MMA fighter. She packs a good punch.
Because she has so much experience as an athlete, we were able to incorporate all of that.
We have 2 women who just inherently are born to get down.
Greg, if you are here, then I can see, okay?
Like I said, if we don't execute the best fight ever, then it's not worth doing.
There's just a really cool balance of characters, and I think that shines through in the fight.
My will is all fight or flight, and I'll do anything. I'll bite, scratch, I'll kick, whatever it takes.
There's no faking that adrenaline.
Roman can fight. Let me get some.
Here we go. We're making a movie.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure that tonally it's about these 2 guys really being overmatched by this other professional fighter.
You have Joe Tassi. He's very, very fast. He's a martial artist. He has a big experience of judo, so we put some judo move in his own style.
Joe is unbelievable. I would always tell him we have a full day to go, but he was going 110% all the time, and you see it on screen.
I would not want to get into a fight with him. He would whoop my ass.
I think it's a bruise, bro. I just want to make sure you're all right. You want a Band-Aid?
Tyrese must be enjoying it because he keeps on going over and over again.
Do it again? I hope so.
It's not just delivering the punch or the blow or the kick. It's the taking of it, and you've got to sell it, you know.
Roman is a tough fighter, and Han is really great with the reaction.
It's a proper fight. It's a street fight.
There's an action sequence finale that is off the charts. They had found an individual who is a massive man. His name is Kim, and he bought it.
When I saw Kim, I was just like, really? They're getting this big now? It's gonna be hard to beat that one. Good luck.
He was a hell of an opponent.
Kim and I were trying to sell this slam. He's like, how much do you weigh? And he's like, oh, I could pick you up with one arm.
Me and Paul agreed that we don't need a harness. We could do it by ourselves.
He's like, boom. Just slammed me a couple times. Boom.
He said, slam me a little bit harder to the car so it looks better. And I was like, you sure? You sure you want me to do that?
I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But that guy just launched me.
People will walk out like, man, that was some of the best fights I've ever seen in one movie.
We wanted to go to Europe for quite some time.
Action!
We've had so many great experiences shooting in London.
This is the King's Cross Coal Drop Yard, built in 1860. The train station's King's Cross and St Pancras, which are behind us. We've got various other places. There's Battersea Power Station, which is a very iconic London landmark. Old Billingsgate, which is a fabulous sort of venue on the river, and then various street scenes. We're kind of all over, getting kind of funky bits that look like Fast and Furious territory, but also seeing some of the glamour spots of London too.
We're here at Tuner Scene, and I was very excited to find the Treasury Building here.
We do like to create the tuner bills. That's kind of what links all these locations together because they all have that love.
Listen up, everybody. There's going to be music. Everybody's going to be dancing.
I was able to do something that's a little different. Usually we're more underground in this franchise, but I just felt like on this one, we go big or we go home. We always have the most beautiful women. They will be cold tonight, though. They will have to be paying for their beauty, but I think it's going to be fun.
Well, my favorite part about that tuner bill is where it leads. When Dom and Letty race around Piccadilly Circus.
Ride or die, remember?
We actually owned Piccadilly Square for a night. We were hanging it out around that turn, drifting all the way around Piccadilly.
It was gratifying and surreal, yes, in the wee hours with the barricades all around and some revelers coming out and seeing what we were doing.
We're only the third film in history to be able to shoot in Piccadilly. That means everything to me.
What'll probably go down in history is while the world's best were racing by day for the Olympics, Fast was racing by night at the same place at the same time.
London's a great place to shoot, but to try to do a movie like Fast, where things are changing fast and you're blowing up cars, doesn't really work in London. Well, we went every place we could that was within reach of London. You know, we went to Liverpool, we went to Scotland, so that we can shoot some crazy stunts.
When we went on the Scout, Tenerife and Gran Canaria, they took us to some of the highways, and I remember thinking, everything we do is going to be practical. It made all the difference.
Indeed, that one squeeze.
We shot for weeks on end in beautiful Canary Islands.
It's fun to be here. I love to shoot in Spain. It's great to have such a big production coming here. And I was like, yeah, good. My country, my people.
Tenerife was lovely. We were shooting right next to the ocean, which was beautiful. I love the people, I love the food, I love the whole culture.
We see this really incredible race going along the cliffs.
We had cliffs that were hundreds of feet straight down drop. So the scale of that alone took it to a whole nother level. These windy, curvy cliff sides, and go fast and not make a mistake.
It really is a very dangerous stretch of road. There's not a lot of room for error.
When you do it for real, is when it looks the best.
This is London, baby. Ready? Ready. Steady. Go!
If the bar was here, this 6 will be in space.
The amount of action in this one. Woo!
We got fight, we got chemistry, we got higher stakes. There's a lot going on.
It's way better than that trash in Rio.
Way better.
To come this far, it's like making it to the World Series.
Damn. This is even bigger, and the stakes are even bigger. Everything is bigger. It's a big deal.
This should be interesting. When people see Fast 6, they're really gonna lose their minds.
Larry, I want to make sure.
You'll be okay.